run in Woi Wurrung language, one of the 5 language groups of the Kulin Nation. So I want you all to please turn on your language translators.
What's the date today?
Do you remember when we first started meeting? 14 years ago, on this same day. It's amazing, isn't it?
Because it's 2030.
It's 2030, of course. I don't know if you remember in 2016, Diversity Arts Australia kind of got this group together as a way to imagine an alternative future.
Our meeting today is to reflect. If you remember way back at the Arts Front conference, one of the Aboriginal and Torres Strait Islander delegates called on us to decolonise our minds, our practice and our thinking.
What would decolonising the arts look like to me?
I think it would really look like diversity would not even be a question.
In 2030, I would like to see that there are no boundaries between the mainstream and the fringe of the arts, and all arts would be diverse, and there will be no such thing as a mainstream continuum.
It will not have English as the dominant language.
We're not just assuming that English is the language that we're all going to communicate in.
Robinjika, Nadanik, Hanna Jenkin.
As people like me, women of colour, who is English as a second language, be able to actually articulate what we want and to be able to access the arts infrastructures that are in Australia.
More programming would allow for cross-cultural content as well. It wouldn't be necessarily seen as a token thing in amongst a myriad of white stories.
So we'd be seeing a lot of like non-Western practices, artistic and craft and cultural and ritual practices being, just being practiced as part of the artistic landscape of 2030.
We would actually take it for granted that we were all equally represented in the art scene.
More Indigenous stories being told, more multicultural stories being told, and seeing the relativity within that it's not necessarily your stereotypical cultured other, that there is so much to relate to with regards to white and other, that we all bleed the same, we all have heartbreak. Just, I don't know, to try and find some kind of common ground in order to aid reconciliation and understanding within the country, because the racism that can occur is just horrendous.
Without change in leadership, there can be no change.
I think you would see challenges not only to the curatorial and organisational and operational power dynamics, but you would see really substantive and beautiful shifts in the stories that we might share.
I think all organisations, funding bodies, places that made decisions about predominantly independent artists would be run by people from a diversity of cultural backgrounds, abilities, genders.
I think that would enable us to have a much more expansive conversation as a country about where we come from and where we want to go.